So in this lecture, we are actually going to release our distributed application with Truffle into the Rinkeby testnet. And as you can see in the background, I've opened my Mist wallet and connected it to my running Geth instance. And what I did here differently than I showed you in the last video is I've added again the Rinkeby parameter to the end of it. Because for some reason, at least on this machine I'm working on, it didn't start the block synchronization. So it just stopped there. I don't know if this is the case with your machine where you're working on. I'm pretty certain I didn't have to do this with the last one. So I just entered again the same data tier. But point is, if you want to work with Rinkeby, then add this parameter again. Anyway, I've added my free ethers through the faucet on www.rinkeby.io. Again, here's the site. You go to www.rinkeby.io, go to the crypto faucet and enter your GitHub gist URL. Please be patient. Sometimes it's not working. At least on me, it played some tricks in this week. I took a couple of attempts to really get my ether through this faucet. If you can't do it, be patient. I don't have any other solution than that, unfortunately, other than just releasing it directly on the LiveNet. The faucets are sometimes a little bit buggy. If you really just want to test your contract, maybe you can also do this in your own private network, the way we've shown you in the first few lectures how to create your private network with the Genesis JSON file. But for this, we are going to use the Rinkeby testnet. And in order to release our app with Truffle, we have to start Geth with different parameters. And the reason is that Truffle is trying to talk to Geth via the HTTP RPC interface to be more concrete. And if we are starting our Geth instance only with the data tier testnet and Rinkeby or Rinkeby parameter, you see that it's just opening an IPC endpoint. But what we want to have is the actual HTTP endpoint. So I'm going to close this instance here, and I have to add the RPC parameter. And in addition to that, because by default only a few API endpoints are available, I have to add the RPC API. And then here I give it the DB endpoint, the ETH endpoint, the net endpoint, the Web3 endpoint, and most importantly, the personal endpoint. Now I go and start it again. Nothing much changed here, just that it will open the HTTP endpoint that you can see here. Let me highlight that for you. And it will again start the block synchronization, and it will again make itself available via the IPC file to Mist if that's still running. And so now we're all set to configure our Truffle in a way that we can deploy it via different network than we usually do that.